Playing multiple instruments, how has that helped you to understand the harmonica and be a more musical player?
What's helped me the most is to understand songs. And I think, in Nashville, lyrics are important. They're real important. In fact, a guy who was my hero, a great guitar player, he was the original, led most of the sessions there, a guy named Grady Martin. Mm-hmm. And he actually, he played on what I think is the greatest piece of studio work in recorded history. He played the guitar on El Paso by Marty Robbins. Now, if you haven't heard the record, you need to hear it. The guitar is just spectacular. Just think of the challenge. Here's a song that's over 4 minutes long. He had the intro and all the fills. And it's guitar throughout. He never repeated himself. He never made a mistake. And everything he played was so tasty and interesting. And he did it on a borrowed guitar, second take. Because back in that day, we recorded everything live. And he did it second take. Anyway, early on, I'm 21 by now, and I'm getting a lot of session work, and I'm feeling pretty cocky, man. Yeah, I'm in with the A-team, I'm playing with big stars. And one day on a session, I guess I was feeling my oats. And all of a sudden, that we finished the take, and the producer said, let's listen to this back, and then we'll do it again. And I looked over, and he was sitting over there giving me a dirty look. Oh, no. So I walked over, and I said, something wrong? He said, hey, come over here, let me talk to you a minute, son. And I went over, and he said, you're playing too much. He said, listen to the lyrics. If you don't hear and understand the lyrics, you're playing too much. And that was like a giant bell went off, and that became my mode of operation from now on. Less is more. It doesn't matter what you play, it's what it does for the song. The song is key. It's like the song is a picture, everything else is a frame, And I think, to me, probably the best piece of session work I ever did was a record by George Jones called He Stopped Loving Her Today. Mm-hmm. And a producer said to me, he forgot I was booked on a session. They were running the song down, and he got up to go to the control room, and he realized, he said, get something on the second verse. And that was it. And so George sang, he said, I'll love you till I die. And I went, he said, you'll forget in time. But as the years went slowly by, she still weighed upon his mind. And that's all I did. And to me, it's one of the best sessions I ever played on, because I think, for me, it captured the song, and it was the right thing to do.
That's fantastic. On that same thought process about accompanying, so these are all good examples of uplifting the song. What are some tools that you like to use when you're playing behind a vocalist? Obviously, Phil's was a good example right there, that call and response. Or you ever mimic the organ or the piano? Or what are some suggestions for the students? You already gave one great one, listen to the lyrics. But the supportive role, not the soloist.
Get in the space. Leave the singer alone. What I find, and it's, okay, harmonica is so portable, and it's so easy to have. And what I find with a lot of young bands, if they have a harmonica player, they play all the time. Well, what happens then is that it becomes part of the background, and it's not special. And a lot of times, if you have a sound man, they'll turn you down. So then if you play something spectacular, nobody's going to hear it. My theory is, I'm going to lay out, you turn it up. Because when I play something, I want you to hear it. Because I'm not going to play where the singer is. I'm going to play in the hole. And I got a funny story, though. One night I was on a festival in Mississippi, and my band and I the show was me and my band and Willie Nelson. So Willie asked me if I would sit in with him because Mickey Raphael had a death in the family and he had to leave. So I said, of course, you know. Well, if you've ever listened to Willie sing, the way he phrases, he doesn't leave any space. Mm-hmm. And I was all night going, so, but anyway, that's my theory. Yeah. Now, I know that Mickey makes it work, what he does. Mm-hmm. Mickey's great, but it doesn't feel right to me. It sounds right when Mickey does it, but when I do it, it doesn't sound right. Mm. To me, it doesn't.